We at Car have always had something of a soft spot for the Renault Mégane, and in this particular iteration it is a fairly old car. However, Renault has recently given it something of an update and included this, the 97 kilowatt GT line turbo to its lineup. We've spent a year with this car to see if this oldie is still a goodie. Now, with the GT line, Renault has looked to add a little bit more sporting verve to the Mégane, but without treading on the toes of its bigger RS badged brother. In this case, we're looking at things such as 17-inch alloy wheels, a number of grey metallic highlights to things such as the door handles, the wing mirror caps, and the sporty looking diffuser at the back. They've also done a few adjustments to the nose, including an adjustment to the front air dam. But they've not limited those changes to the exterior. There's also quite a few changes inside as well. Now, Renault's continued the sports motif in the cabin, and among the highlights are things such as this nice chunky sports steering wheel, carbon fibre effect on the dash. There's also these wonderfully bolstered leather and cloth combination sports seats. It is, it feels quite purposeful inside, but it's not perfect. Space in the back for a car of this size is surprisingly limited, especially in terms of knee room. And the sat-nav, it's a TomTom system, which is great. It's very smooth in its operation, and Renault has tried to be quite clever and integrated a touch screen. A great idea. However, the screen's sighted very far back, which means unless you've got very long limbs, you've got to really stretch to touch the screen, make it viable only for use when you're stationary. Fortunately, however, the ancillary control, this nice dial and button affair, is very intuitive. So while the bones of this Mégane are essentially that of a fairly old car, what's under the bonnet is completely new. It's a 1.2 litre turbocharged unit that not only improves performance, but also make it quite an economical engine. It develops 97 kilowatts and 205 newton meters of torque, which can be boosted up to 225 on overboost if you floor it. If you are trying to drive with a bit of urgency, it does mean that this engine is not going to be quite as efficient as Renault had hoped. Now, Renault claim 5.4 litres to the 100 kilometres from this engine, which is a lofty claim indeed. During my year with the car, I was getting around 7.5 in mixed use. Out on the open road, on a road trip that I did out to Montague, the best I managed was a shade over 6 to the 100 kilometres. But it's on that open road that the car really goes into its element. It really is a very nice car to drive long distances. Now, dynamically, the Mégane has always been a very pleasant car to drive, and things haven't changed in this respect. The steering still has a pleasant heft and precision to it. The body control's good. You can chuck this thing into corners and it doesn't seem to mind. The ride's a bit of a mixed bag. As speeds pick up, it's pretty good, but as you can tell here, I'm pottering around some of the back roads in Hout Bay, which aren't perfectly paved, and the car is skittering around on them. Earlier, I asked whether the Mégane, as an old car, was still a good car, and I have to say that having spent a year with this particular example, yes, it is still a very good car. It's still very distinctive compared with its competitors, and this one in particular has a nice, relaxed, long-legged way about it. It has its idiosyncrasies, there are some packaging issues, but all in all, a thoroughly likeable car.